Hello and welcome back to another cooking video. My name's Emily Roz and today I'm going to be sharing 3 super comforting and cozy recipes that I think you're going to love. And the reason why I say this with such confidence is because Henry, my boyfriend, up until about 2 years ago, genuinely didn't consider soup a meal. And now he's totally obsessed and absolutely loves all 3 of these soup recipes. So even soup haters can be converted. So let's get into the video. Now, first up, we are making a super green soup. And for this recipe, I didn't fancy making a mellow, boring flavored soup. This recipe, we're going for aromatics and flavor. I'm chopping up a white onion here, but you could totally use shallots as well. We're then gonna roughly chop some fresh cloves of garlic, followed by a fresh red chilli. Now, contrary to popular belief, if you want to remove heat from the chilli, many people say you got to remove the seeds. Well, it's not actually the seeds. It's the placenta, which is the little white pith or inside of the chilli that holds all of the heat. It's where you'll find the compound capsaicin, which is basically the compound that's responsible for the heat. And the placenta is where it's mostly produced and stored. Now, the seeds aren't naturally hot, but because they're in contact with the placenta, they absorb a lot of heat. So that's why people think that it's the seeds that hold the heat, when actually it's the placenta. So feel free to remove both if you're not a big fan of spice. Next up, we'll roughly chop up some spring onions or scallions for my friends across the pond. Now I'm going to get a good soup pan on the heat and drizzle with a touch of vegetable oil or olive oil. We're going to go in with our onions, garlic, red chilies and spring onions. Give it all a good mix and then go in with some grated ginger. I store mine in the freezer so it lasts longer, but you could totally chop up some fresh ginger if that's all you've got, or mince it as well. I couldn't find any today, but lemongrass would go so well in this, so make sure to top and tail it and then bash it with the back of a knife. Finely chop it and then add that in, and that will give you a lovely, like, citrusy, zesty flavor. Once those aromatics have fried off for a few minutes and softened slightly, we're going to go in with our fresh spinach leaves and frozen peas. I tend to opt for petit pois over garden peas, and that's mainly just because they're a bit sweeter and less earthy in flavor compared to garden peas. Next up, I'm going to pop in the vegetable stock, followed by some water, and once that's wilted down, I'm going to go in with some fresh coriander or cilantro. Feel free to add in parsley if you're a coriander hater, or if you're looking for kind of more of a diverse herby flavor, you could go in with a mixture of basil and mint. Give everything a really good mix and then get your hand blender. This hand blender is actually my granny's. She passed away a few years ago and I've just got such fond memories of her making soups with this hand blender. So I feel honoured to have inherited such a wonderful tool from such a wonderful lady. So I'm gonna use that hand blender and blend the soup until smooth. This soup is a really quick one. It should take you less than 15 minutes. It's super speedy. Now that the soup is super smooth, give it a taste and then season with salt and pepper. I'm gonna serve it up and divide it between bowls, then top with some chili oil, crispy onions, and coriander. You could alternatively top it with sesame seeds, a jammy egg if you're into that kind of thing in soups, or croutons. It's really bold in aromatics, but then also comforting from the earthiness of the spinach and the sweetness from the peas. It's a very healthy soup and packs a whopping 8 different types of vegetables. So it's a cracker. Also, my jumper matches it, and I just thought that was quite fun. You know, it's like the little things in life. Now we've got 2 very delicious and very creamy soups coming up next. If you're liking this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you could give it a like, comment if you fancy, and if you're feeling extra generous, to subscribe. Thank you so much, and on to the next recipe. So next on the list, my little broccoli florets. We've got a super comforting soup option, and it's my creamy broccoli and sausage orzo soup. So once again, get yourself a chunky pot and drizzle with oil. We're now going to go in with our sausages. I'm basically ripping or tearing them apart into bite-sized pieces, or kind of a bit smaller than that. I love the chunkiness of this soup, but if you wanted to just use ground pork and have it as like a mince option, then you go for it. We're gonna let them fry off until they're kind of golden and browned on patches of the sausage bites. So meanwhile, I'm gonna finely chop some garlic. Around 3 cloves is my go-to, but honestly, you could use a whole bulb if you're a super garlic fan. Next up, I'm gonna chop up the broccoli. So first I'm gonna chop up the broccoli florets, which leaves me with a clean stem. Chop the florets to your desired size. You can either go really fine so that it's kind of bitty, or you can do like chunky a bit so it's more of a crunch. And then the stem of the broccoli has so much flavor, so don't you throw that away. I also love snacking on it. It's like a nice little whilst you're making the soup. But anyway, today I'm gonna finely chop it, and then we'll add all of the broccoli florets and the chopped stem into our sausage pot, followed by some paprika, flaky salt and ground black pepper. Once we've given that a mix, I'm gonna add in a chicken stock cube followed by some water. If you've got homemade chicken stock, then totally use that. You could also opt for a low sodium chicken stock cube if you would like to lessen the salt. I'm then going to go in with some single cream or light cream, followed by a load of grated Parmesan. Give that a mix and then add in the ORZO. Now, ORZO is a fantastic pasta shape for soup because it's rice shaped and it's small and it's spoonable. Spoonable is the key factor here. We're gonna let that simmer until the ORZO is cooked, and make sure to keep an eye on it and keep stirring because sometimes the ORZO sticks to the base of the pan. So just give it a little stir from time to time. If you find that the sauce is thickening too much and the ORZO is sticking to the pan quite often, feel free to add in some more water. Our gorgeous chunky soup is done, so ladle it into your bowls and garnish with some grated Parmesan and a generous sprinkling of black pepper. This one is so delicious and perfect for when you've had a long day and you just need a hug in a bowl. I hope you love it. Now, my friends, I think I might have saved the best till last because it's a flavor powerhouse. And it's my caramelized onion and butternut squash soup. So I had half a butternut squash left in my fridge, and instead of peeling it, which really at this point would have just been a bit of a faff, I'm just gonna slice it right down the middle and spoon out the seeds. I'm then gonna place each half down on a tray. Now, I'm very aware that I've sliced one half of the butternut squash into pieces. This was unintentional. I was having a brain fart and wasn't thinking, so don't do that. Keep them as 2 whole halves. Drizzle the squash with vegetable oil, and then we're gonna go in with some flaky salt and black pepper. Black pepper? Black pepper. Place that in the air fryer until golden and soft, and meanwhile, I'm thinly slicing 2 red onions and adding them to a hot oiled pot. We're gonna fry them off on low to medium heat with some flaky salt until softened. Now, caramelized onions take a long time. You wanna cook them low and slow, which is why this recipe works so well, because the squash takes around half an hour to get soft. And really, for an ideal caramelized onion, you want to be cooking it for as long as possible, and half an hour is perfect. Now, to add more flavor to the onions, I'm going to go in with some balsamic vinegar for acidity and a sprinkling of sugar for sweetness. The onions should be this lovely caramelized golden dark purple color, and your kitchen should smell amazing. Feel free to taste them as you go, but try not to eat all of them because they are rather addictive. Just keep them on a low heat and stir occasionally so they don't burn. Okay, our butternut squash is soft when you poke with a fork, and that's when you know it's ready, so we're gonna add the flesh of the squash into the pan. Oh, and also top tip, make sure to keep some caramelized onions aside so that you can then do a fun little topping on your soups. We're also gonna go in with some garlic too. Season with dried sage and then go in with some vegetable stock. We're also going to go in with some cream because, I don't know, I love that little addition. It's kind of optional, but I do think it adds a lovely creamy edge that just makes it a load better, you know? Once we've given it a good mix, let's get our handy dandy blender and start whizzing until everything is smooth. The color is this gorgeous dark sunflower orange. It's so smooth and glossy. I'm gonna garnish with grated Parmesan and some caramelized onions just for fun. And honestly, the flavors in this one are so genuinely incredible because we've cooked everything so well and low and slow. The taste in your mouth is simply phenomenal. My gorgeous friends, I hope you really enjoyed these recipes. Let me know in the comments if you've given any of them a go, and let me know what kind of recipes you'd like me to cook next. And I will see you next week. Have a gorgeous rest of your day.